What's up, YouTube? Tenchi Arizona, the angry Dracolope of the Jackalope crew here, and at the time of recording this video it is 1 AM on Saturday the 13th of June 2020. And this video is a story time that directly connects to a previous story time, and in fact it directly connects to that previous story time because of a shop. A tackle shop, in point of fact. Now, to give you a bit of background information, I put down fishing in mid-2005. It is now mid-2020, 15 years later, and I have picked fishing up again. In fact, this Monday just gone, I went down to my local tackle shop, the same one where I mentioned the owner of in a previous story time, to get some fishing line, and I got some 18-pound ASO fishing line, particularly ASO bulletproof. Not a line I'm familiar with, but it came highly recommended. However, when I got down to the tackle shop, I noticed once I spoke to the people inside, it's under new management, has 2 new owners. I wasn't expecting that at all. Still has the same layout pretty much, but it's a lot more modernised. So anyway, I found out that the original owner sold it back in 2010. So the new owners, or at least new to me, have owned it for 10 years at this point. So how do these new owners tie into the previous story time? Well, they tie into it because they explained to me why the original owner sold up and moved away. He in fact moved to Canada, BC to be precise, British Columbia. I don't know where in British Columbia, but that's where he moved to. So while I was picking out my line, I was having a conversation with the 2 new owners, and what they told me was actually quite intriguing. You see, prior to the previous and original owner selling up and moving, he had had multiple break-ins into the back of the shop. Now, there was nothing really valuable in the back of the shop. It was basically bait storage, so a couple of large fridges and a large freezer. And it was always the external back door that was broken, busted in. And so he installed some CCTV cameras overlooking the backyard of his store. Now, this store is on a small parade of shops, 4 or 5 shops along the parade, and his was the only one that ever suffered break-ins, which I found rather suspicious. Also suspicious is the fact that when the new owners bought it, none of the footage from the security cameras had been basically removed from the hard drives connected to those cameras. So same cameras out the back now than when the original owner had it. They looked at the footage of about 6 months before he sold it, because with the particular style of camera he had and the age of the hard drives, they only store about 3 months worth of data and then it overwrites and re-records. Anyway, bit too much explanation there. Get back on point. In the security camera footage that they did have, they saw nothing. Nothing in any of the footage. And in fact, at some points, the footage went complete static for 2 or 3 minutes. Then when the footage cleared again, there was damage to the back door, scratch marks specifically. And that is something really, really interesting when you consider one of my previous story times. And talking to these new owners, I asked them if they'd experienced anything like that since they took over. And they said yes, they'd experienced it 2 or 3 times since taking over. Basically, once every other year. It basically stopped in around late 2018, but they had 2 or 3 occurrences that they could not explain. And whenever they tried to report it, nothing came of it. What they explained is they'd kept the original security camera set up, and when they had incidents, the same thing happened. Either there was nothing on the camera, or there was a section of the footage for like 2 or 3 minutes where the camera was completely overtaken by static. Now, after the second instance they had, they got a more modern camera, still keeping the original one running, but they put the modern camera on the opposite side of the rear access to the store. So they could basically get both angles. So there was no blind spot anymore. And with this new camera, which directly uploaded to a PC wirelessly, they had the same issue. Nothing showing on the camera, occasionally static, basically taking up the entire screen for 2 or 3 minutes, and then when it cleared there was damage to the door. Now, this last recording is particularly strange because the original camera at this point showed completely clear footage. But here's the thing. While the newer camera went complete static, the old camera showed nothing, and where the static was for the 2 or 3 minutes, claw marks appeared on the door to the store. After that occurrence, they white saged the place, put up some silver pendants sort of things, even had a priest come by to bless the place. And after that they had no other instance. That's why there's only been 2 or 3 instances in the time they'd owned it. And as I said, the last instance was in late 2018. So this ties in because previously, in the previous video where I mentioned the tackle store owner, and this was the original owner, and this was about a particular fishing spot, I theorised that the incidents in that area could have been from either a werewolf or a loup-garou. Loup-garou, by the way, is the actual French term for a rougarou. And a rougarou is, think about a werewolf on steroids. So, I believe that what they had was one of those beasties, left over from the old original owner running the store. But I think the blessing they had done on the place and all the silver they put around, stuff like that, actually solved the issue. Which is good, I think. Interestingly though, they started selling day permits to the spot that most of the older generation of tackle shop owners will not sell tickets to. There's actually only one other tackle shop that's actually run by an old timer that does sell day tickets to that particular spot. Anyway, another interesting fact is there used to be a second tackle shop not far from the one that's now under new management, and that one also shut down. Shot down. What am I thinking? Also shut down for similar reasons. Unexplained incidents involving the back entrance and the bait storage room, which had the fridges and freezers in it. Now, this other tackle shop, I wasn't a big fan of the owner, to be honest, but I did like his staff. Apparently he shut down in 2006, which is a shame because although I didn't like the owner, he did do really good stuff. Excuse me, my controls just turned off. Anyway, that's control back on. Anyway, as I said, this other tackle shop shut down for similar incidents. The difference being, this other tackle shop refused to put a CCTV camera in of any kind. I can understand why he refused to put it in, because there are residences behind his store, and where he would have had to put the camera would have recorded the residence right behind him, the backyard of that residence. So he refused to put a camera in, basically. Understandable, but I know for a fact that he closed for the same reason, because these two new owners of the tackle shop I went to bought all his stock up to basically keep their store in for the first few months while they were negotiating with suppliers. So we have two tackle shops in the same area having the same incidents, claw marks on the back doors, evidently large claws as well, not like dog claws. We're talking like gashes that are like an inch across, but perfectly tapered. So definitely claw marks. We have the same sort of layout on both tackle shops. So the point of damage is the same point, it's the bait rooms. And both are relatively unexplained. One we know has been sorted out, because that's the tackle shop I went to and they haven't had any issues, as I said, since late 2018. The other one, however, I can't find out about, because the other tackle shop, what was a tackle shop, since it closed, has been turned into a residential property, block of flats in point of fact. The building was originally 2 floors, it's still 2 floors, and you got 4 2-bedroom flats in that building now. So I can't find out what was going on there, if it is still going on. But I've already told you what my suspicions are, that it was either a werewolf or a rougarou. And, well, that's pretty much all for this story time. Hopefully the tackle shop is no longer going to be affected. It has had blessings, as I've said, and other stuff done to it. And hopefully the new residential property, where the other tackle shop isn't affected either. Anyway, that's all for now. If you like it, please subscribe, comment and share. And remember, don't get eaten, because there are things that go bump in the night.
I'm the Dracolope, bitch.